Meditation is what? Moving the mind inward. It's not meant for good or bad. It's meant for freedom. However it is not me. It's so subtle in the mind. Any small intention, any small vritti, any small direction that we give it, it latches on. It's not so easy to let the things go in the mind, is it? Unless you consciously do it. Body continuously seeks comfort. Mind continuously seeks pleasure. All right. So we're about 1/3 of the way through, right? 18 chapters. I think we're on chapter 6. And the chapter is on meditation, right? Meditation as a way to liberation. And I think the verses we have covered so far, they have been discussing, Lord Krishna is talking about preparation to meditation. Remember, the mind being friend, enemy, etc. So that's where we are. Just to catch, some of you are new, I see. We're on chapter 6, discussing meditation, and the first 5, 6 verses, I'm not sure exactly how many, we'll see soon, are on preparing the mind to go deep into states of meditation. We're not just talking relaxation in terms of meditation. We're really talking purification of man, buddhi, ahankar, mind, intellect, and ego on deeper levels. Right? Karma Yoga, what does it do? Purifies, correct? Similarly, Bhakti Yoga, knowledge, all these things are purifying, and meditation is another way to purify, but the deeper layers of purification. Clear? That's where we are. Okay, so let's start with, what are we up to? Verse 6, Mala, or 5?
6 we finished. 7 we can start, Didi.
Okay, so I'll just read the English for 6 and then we'll go to 7, all right? One's own self is the friend of the soul by whom the lower self, consisting of course of mind, senses, and body, has been conquered. Even so, the very self of him who has not conquered his lower self behaves antagonistically like an enemy. Yeah, we did that one. So let's begin with 7.
जितात्मान प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः.
The Supreme Spirit is rooted in the knowledge of the self-controlled man, whose mind is perfectly serene in the midst of pairs of opposites, such as cold and heat, joy and sorrow, honor and ignominy. Listen, in different ways, we're coming to the same knowledge, right? Rising above the pairs of opposites. But this is a preparatory statement to meditation. Because he hasn't yet gotten into what is meditation, how do we meditate, any of those things. He's still talking about, like the previous verse, the mind is either your friend or your enemy. Here he's saying, rising above the pairs of opposite. With self-control, this self-controlled man whose mind is serene in the midst of the pairs of opposites. This is a preparation to enter into deeper states of meditation. Gurudev says it's so simple, so beautiful, right? When he says, I am nothing, I want nothing, I do nothing. Isn't it? That is similar to what this verse is asking us to do, and perhaps other verses are similar too. Really, to sit for every meditation. Notice when we start, we sometimes say, okay, I have 30 minutes, I'll meditate before I have to get on that call. Yes or no? You enter, the mind is not entering in equanimity. It doesn't enter with sense of self-control over the mind or the body or the surroundings or the situation. It's squeezing it in. And so the mind has a certain kind of rag and dvesh. It's very subtle, but we sit to meditate without the mind being centered, calm, or serene, as the word is translated here. So just another good reminder to sit with this notion of like, okay, whatever happens, we also sit with meditation with expectation, don't we? Oh my God, last meditation was so good. I hope this one is good. I really need to meditate. I just hope that I can just relax into it. Notice the mind does not enter the state with a calm state of equanimity. However it is, for the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I need nothing. I want nothing. I am nothing. I do nothing. Whatever happens, let it happen. I'm just going to sit. We even sit like our phone is nearby. Oh, I'm expecting a call. Just in case if it buzzes, then I'll interrupt my meditation. Yes or no? Yeah. No? The mind is not just sitting. So you can see the value of what Lord Krishna is doing before entering meditation. We sort of take it for granted, or even the mind might be saying, but hey, we have heard this before about equanimous, rising above the pairs of opposite, but now he's putting it in the context of meditation. Are you with me? Are you hearing what's being said here? And really, you look, there's 1,000, like we throw in laundry in the middle of our sadhana. I'm talking like I had done that this morning. You throw in laundry and you know that's a 45-minute cycle. So your mind already has calculated, okay, that gives me 10 minutes of yoga and 10 minutes of this, 20 minutes of meditation. And then I'll go and I'll switch from washer to dryer. And then I can come back and do my next thing. Yes or no? Look how you're entering the meditation. The mind is entering into meditation by going out of meditation. It's you're not. It's so subtle in the mind. Any small intention, any small vritti, any small direction that we give it, it latches on. It's not so easy to let the things go in the mind, is it? Unless you consciously do it. Yes? We put, yes, Denise, we put a lot of conditions to sitting down to meditate. And I think what I just said is a mouthful. Consciously letting go. So when we sit, perhaps it's a good idea to say in the mind, I do nothing now for the next 25 minutes or so. I need nothing. I want nothing. I achieve, don't do nothing. Doesn't matter whatever the meditation. I'm just sitting. Nothing else matters. That is the preparations. That is your mind being your friend. When we enter meditation with, I got to get this done, so let me throw the clothes in the washer and then I'll throw them in the dryer, is the mind being your friend or your enemy in that moment? It's not neutral, people. Okay? It might sound like, oh, well, that's neutral. That's not anything. No. Your mind is your friend or your mind is your enemy in relation to what? Meditation. In relation to what? Moksha, liberation. That is what this book is about, right? I'm not making that up. That is the direction, that is the goal that Lord Krishna is slowly moving Arjuna to. So when you enter, the obvious about enemy of the mind and the friendliness of the mind is obvious. When you're kind versus when you're not, when you're mean, when you, right? That's how we understand it, generally speaking. But it's much deeper than that in this context. You know, does your mind lean into letting things go, or is the mind leaning away from letting things go? Which is a friend, which is an enemy? When you sit to meditate, what mindset is serving you? is your friend and what mindset is your enemy working against meditation. Are you catching on? That's really what's being discussed here, and you'll see that it's very subtle. You know, the telephone, the cell phone next to you, the water that's sitting next to you, the guys, I'm just going to quickly be back from meditation. Just carry on. I'll be back quick. What's the setup? You've given the mind a direction, a vritti. I'll be done quick. That quick, that rajas has entered into the system. Remember the gunas. You must carry the knowledge with you as we progress with Arjuna and Lord Krishna. Don't just listen to the sutra by itself. If you listen to it by itself, the simple translation of verse 5 or 6, whatever it was, oh yeah, when we're upset, the mind is an enemy. When we're happy, then our mind is friendly and working with us. That's the most basic thing. That is not what is being discussed here. So how you enter meditation also determines the quality of the meditation. I'm also, I'm not just talking with you, I'm talking to myself. I told you just this morning, as I read the verse, that's what popped in my head while I was reading, like, oh, wow, I entered with this, oh, I'll throw this in, and then it's a transaction. Then the meditation is like, I got to do my 25 minutes, I'm done. No, we're talking about going to the deepest essence, freedom from deep layers of vasana, and okay. And what if at the end, maybe just by the time you even take your mantra, you do the third stage of Basrika, you're already sliding into meditation, but there's a little noise in the background that you've interjected. Get up and finish in 45 minutes to go to the dryer. That stuff doesn't go away. Do you understand? That's a thought, a intention, a vibration that we carry into our practice. It's actually an amazing verse, don't you think, when we pause to think about it, how delicately it's helping us to become more aware and to refine our own practice and to value it in a different way. No? Yes? Okay. The other thing is, let me just be obvious. I know it's obvious, but let me just point to the obvious, such as cold and heat. Serene in the midst of the pairs of opposites, such as cold and heat. I don't think that Lord Krishna is simply talking temperature. Are you taking it like that? No, it's not just temperature, like it's not just trite examples. Oh, above the pairs of opposite of temperature, cold, discomfort, oh, hot, oh, discomfort, or joy and sorrow, honor and, dishonor. We're talking about something deeper than that. Labeling it to the bottom line, push and pull, craving and aversion. Are you with me? The other thing is, by now, after so many silence courses, you have noticed when there is pleasure, especially when you hear, think about someone you love and think about someone you hate. Remember that meditation in the part 2 course? You have clearly noticed that when there is pleasure, the sensations, the experience in the nervous system is cool. How many have noticed that? There's a coolness. What does that coolness do? It gives this unconscious, this message that sensation gets interpreted to, I want more. Are you catching on to what I'm leading to? Oh, I want more. Or when you think of someone you dislike or you hate, not only is there tightness or contraction, but what is there? Heat. Friction is there. Yes or no? And that sensation, we know, Gurudev's knowledge, it's very clear. We know that sensation creates similar thought, which creates similar emotion, which creates a similar sensation. And this is bondage. This is getting stuck. It's contrary. This is where the mind is your enemy, not your friend. And when you feel that cool experience, pleasure, then what does the mind say? Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice is what? I want more. It's very subtle. There's a grasping that starts to happen. I want more. And what does the Guru say in the part 2? Without reacting to it, be with the sensation or emotion or combination of whatever's going on. So that's really what he's talking about. Notice the preparation. It's very beautiful, actually, and very strong as I'm sharing with you and sort of, expressing out loud. Joy and sorrow, honor and dishonor. Within our practice, within our part 2 course, this sutra is such a big thing because at the end, if you ask the group, how are you? How was that good? Even when Guruji asks, so this is like good because I had something good happen. By my qualification, the meditation was good. It's not meant for good or bad. It's meant for freedom. However it is not me. The practice of meditation is to purify the man, chitta, ahankar, mind, intellect, ego. It has nothing to do with me. I am untouched by it. I am beyond good meditation or not so good meditation. The coolness, the pleasure of the meditation or the dissatisfaction of a meditation by our standards. Is that clear? Do you hear what I'm saying? It's very beautiful, this sutra. We're constantly avoiding sensations that are uncomfortable, and those sensations create thoughts, which create similar emotions, which create similar sensations, and it's this constant interpreting that takes place by the mind that keeps us bound into a vicious cycle. Yeah? Why you got so serious? I thought this is an amazing sutra, isn't it? Yes or no? It's an amazing sutra, but maybe you're pondering on how you enter meditation, like I was as I was reading it. Oh, okay. Like my cell phone is there, okay, because maybe it's close to 10. I started late in meditation. Somebody might call. Mala, number 8.
ज्ञान विज्ञान तृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः.
The yogi whose mind is sated with jnana and vijnana. So jnana in here in parentheses is defined as knowledge of nirgun Brahma. And vijnana is knowledge of manifest divinity. Okay, so let me read it from the beginning just for you to know. The yogi whose mind is sated with jnana. Nirgun. Nirgun means, how do you translate nirgun?
Formless.
Formless, without quality, no form, no structure. Formless Brahma, and Vijnan, the knowledge of the manifest divinity, who is unmoved under any circumstances, whose senses are completely under control, and to whom earth, stone, and gold are all alike, is spoken of as a God-realized soul. So, how did we move here? He gave us verses for preparation. And then he's talking about the last verse that we saw. What is a supreme spirit? Who is one that is really deep and immersed in meditation? One who is beyond the pairs of opposite, is not judging the meditation, is not looking for an experience, is not just serene. Now, there's another sort of explanation. First of all, let's understand Jnana and Vijnana, I think, is the difference between really immersed in scriptural knowledge, understanding it, versus the experience of living the knowledge. Do you understand? There's a difference between those two. He's talking about one who is not just learned and knows the knowledge, but also lives the knowledge, manifest. All right? This one who is unmoved under any circumstance, whose senses are completely under control, to whom earth, stone, and gold are alike, is spoken of as God realized soul. This is the result of meditation. You prepare to meditate. If you meditate by being above the pairs of opposite, what happens? For you, mud or stone or gold is the same. In what sense? The mind is not moved by it. It has its value. Gold is gold, earth is earth, stone is stone. But you're centered, your serenity, who you are, is not swayed or moved by it. You know that koan Gurudev talks about, a man walks into a Buddhist temple and he sees the statue of the Buddha. And the monk, the Buddhist monk, is nearby and sort of a little bit away in another room. And this stranger walks in. He has a cigarette in his hand. Have you heard this from Gurudev? Some of you? No? So he has a cigarette in his hand and he's looking, and he arrives at the statue of Buddha and he looks and he blows smoke towards the Buddha's murti. And then he sees that there's ash at the edge of the cigarette, and he flicks the ash into, Buddha's palm, into the mudra, and then continues to walk. And the monk, Buddhist monk that's standing in the room nearby, he happens to notice, like, oh my God, what is going on? So the Buddhist monk comes out. If you looked at this verse, what would the monk's response be? What do you think? What would the monk say? Somebody who doesn't know it. You raised your hand, Antonia, so you know the story. What do you think?
No, I did like this, like, let them be.
Let them be. Is that an answer? Let them be? What do you think? Yes or no? Shake your head. Give me some response. Tell him politely and calmly. Let me see. Hold on. I can't comment on how amazing this. Okay, wait a minute. Tell him politely and calmly not to do it. Why? What is the knowledge in this? How does this sutra apply with what I just said?
It's his duty.
Stone, earth, gold, it's all the same. Everything is God. No? So why tell him politely and calmly? Ignore it. He should not be impacted, Reshma said. How many agree with that? Don't be impacted. Mala, ignore it. How many are like, just tell us the answer and let's get on with it? No, come on, think with me.
I think monk must have got angry because you said, oh my God, when the monk saw that.
No, I'm not saying what did the monk do. I want to know what, applying this sutra, what would your answer be? Don't try to predict what the monk did. Forget that.
Indifference.
Indifference. So ignore, indifference, politely tell him. Let it go. Those are the 4 answers so far. Yes? What's the knowledge? The knowledge is, yes, it's true. Everything is God. Stone, gold, earth. God realized soul is not swayed by it, but the stone is stone and gold is gold and mud is mud. So here in this temple, the statue of the Buddha is sacred, isn't it? It's a murti. It's the statue of the Buddha is sacred. Ash and smoke in a temple is not sacred. Correct? So from that perspective, yes, everything is God. Yes, be serene. Yes, we are equanimous. Doesn't mean, okay, so now I meditate and I come out. No. Ash is ash. The murti, the statue of the Buddha, is that, and the temple is temple. So at some level, the answer is correct. Tell him politely, but the knowledge is this. It's not just be calm and politely tell him to go. It's to recognize the statue is sacred, ash is not. Temple is not for smoking. So then you would say, in the temple we don't smoke. That's the statue of the Buddha. It's sacred. Please step outside. Yes? I can tell you one thing. It's very nice to say, but I remember it was very early on. Gurudev's, where he sits, there's a small foot rug. There's a big rug, then his chair is there, right? And then under his foot, there was a small rug. And then a lot of people come to him, or maybe Guruji wasn't there. This was one particular time. Gurudev was not there. And a whole bunch of people came in and they were moving close. So somebody put their foot, a devotee put their foot on the rug and put their head on the chair, just like getting close, just that sense of endear affection. I was sitting by and the head didn't bother me, but foot on Gurudev's rug was an issue in my head. At that time, I can tell you I didn't apply this verse. I said, what are you thinking? Do you notice that your foot is on his rug? And that person was like taken back because what I said was truth in the sense that worthy of saying, but it had too much energy and power in it, and they were kind of taken back. I didn't think it was a big deal because the measure of my volume is based on my own volume, not necessarily on how somebody else takes it, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's what was at the moment. And then eventually Gurudev came and there was a beautiful kind of whatever moment, satsang, etc., some knowledge. And then he sent us off to bed. I went to my room. A few minutes later, I got a phone call from Guruji. What did you say to her? I had to think, like, what did I say? What did I say? Because for me, I had just said it and stepped away from it. So, what did I say? See, you cannot say these things. And then suddenly I realized what it was. It was related to that. Now I started to say, Gurudev, no, her foot was, no. No. It doesn't matter. We cannot speak like that. Are you getting what I'm saying? Like I had to, it's true, that place is sacred. And it's true what you say, politeness. At the same time, there needs to be an awareness that we do not put our feet on the Guru's asana. It's not just let it go, because that's also not okay. Just let it go. It's not any random person you put your foot there. No, that's an asana, correct? You're catching what I'm saying to you, So knowledge has to be lived in multiple layers. We have to be aware of that. All right, let's continue. Mala.
सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीनम् अध्यस्तद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते.
This is another elaboration of what happens when one enters meditation properly, when one is in meditation, and as a result, frees the impurities of the mind, the intellect, and the ego. He who looks upon well-wishers and neutrals, as well as mediators, friends and foes, relatives and inimicals, I don't know if I don't know what that means, as virtuous and the sinful with equanimity stands supreme. Seeing all samabuddhi, no, that's the word, seeing all relations with the same divinity. Again, wife, friend, daughter, stranger, behavior will be whatever it will be. But behind all relations, behind all people, what is it? You go deep enough into meditation, what happens? You go beyond the pairs of opposites. You remain in that state of calm, that serenity. Then you start to see not body, not relations only, but you also see the other layer to life, which is that behind all these bodies, all these objects, sentient and insentient, it's samabuddhi, same divine spirit or force. It's telling you the results of meditation. Are you hearing that? No? And we know this to be true. You come out of, whether it's a silence course or sometimes just a deep meditation where everything was dropped and you just sunk into that quiet space, you come out, you don't have the same mental grasp. Yes or no? Mind is not holding, latching, grasping. It takes what we say, I need some time to come out. Don't we say that? I need some time to really start differentiating and starting to behave and move as if in multiplicity. The truth is, there is no multiplicity. No, this was in one of the Upanishads, remember, Katha Upanishad or something, where the statement is blatantly made, there is no such thing as multiplicity or duplicity. It's all one. Sama buddhi, equanimous awareness. It's all one behind what I see as two or multiple. Huh? Result. Continue.
योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीरपरिग्रहः.
Living in seclusion, all by himself, the yogi, of course, in this case, it means the meditator, right? Yogi just doesn't mean the way we often understand it, the one who meditates, okay? Living in seclusion all by himself, the yogi who has controlled his mind and body and is free from desires, void of possessions, should constantly engage his mind in meditation. Living in seclusion means what? Go run off to the forest. Be in your room by yourself. To begin with, it at least means while you meditate, drop all relations, drop all me and mine. At least to begin with, when we sit to meditate. Even the attachment to my practice, not bringing in me and mine, having this sense that at least during this process of meditation, it's just you. It's a lonely path if you want to see it like that. What I really think we have to look at is void of possessions. It doesn't mean don't have anything. I think it refers to minimal, what is required. If you look at a house, just an object that's sitting there, it takes some part of your mind into it. Yes or no? You walk into a room, if it's filled with a lot of things without even our knowing, what does the mind do? Like a spider web, it casts all its awareness onto so many different things. Some conscious, we recognize it, maybe we go adjust it, maybe we go fix it, maybe we pick it up and put it into the sink because it's dirty, or we kind of look at what is that sitting there for? some of our awareness, attention, energy, consciousness is drawn into these objects. When we're seriously really looking to saying, okay, I've done this and that, and it's time for me to say, I'm done. I want to find freedom. Then what is it saying? Don't accumulate. Aparigraha. That is what is coming into this. Non-accumulation. Without possession doesn't mean what is needed. No. What do you need? You need a chair. Okay, what do you need? You need this thing. But then we keep having more and more and more chachkas and things in the room. And it's saying without accumulation. Why? Because to some degree or another, the mind goes into it. And then the mind is filled. There is no seclusion. The mind is holding on to all this stuff. It's not that it's just there for use. We get belongingness to the object, yes or no? More than people. Some objects, we belong to them more. Oh my God, how that broke, how could that be? Oh wow, that stain, and I just got this. Oh, and it's so expensive. No? Yes or no? Where does it live? It's in here. It's not in the room. It's in the head. It's in the mind. That's where stuff lives. Whether it's a position, title, stuff, relationships. We are not alone. It's interesting, it's okay, but you let go one role, one position, and then you latch onto another. Oh, now I'm a teacher. Oh, now I'm an advanced course teacher. Oh, now I'm a Sahaj course teacher. And now I'm a VTP teacher. And now I'm a whatever, Sanyam teacher. Accumulation in the mind. Not necessary in meditation, at least in meditation, not necessary. Remember the prior verses. I do nothing, I want nothing. It doesn't matter. Next 25 minutes, I just sit. Come what may. And not continuously trying to find comfort, looking for a good, easy meditation, simple, all that kind of stuff. I like this versus that. This thing is too much. Before we know it, it's like this. And then I heard Didi say, if your arm is broken, don't worry, you can just, and then I heard you can have just awareness at the second lobes of the lungs and breathe. Body continuously seeks comfort. Mind continuously seeks pleasure. No, this is what really has to be looked at when it says in seclusion. Also, it's important, do you remember once we talked about 3 big things that are really needed? One of the things is the courage to be on your own. Courage to step into the unknown and to be on our own. Do you remember that conversation that we had? It's very necessary. Otherwise, you sit to meditate and you keep opening your eyes to see what's happening. You hear somebody moving somewhere in some room next to you in the kitchen. Maybe they're, I think I'm going to eat. Oh, wow, there's a brownie. And your ear hears and says, I hope they don't eat all of it. Hey, save me some. You're not in seclusion. Your mind is outward. Only what is needed, minimal. This is really, I think, quite amazing statements just in terms of becoming more conscious of honoring our practice, 1 second, somebody wrote something. When you say in seclusion, remembered last week's session, elevate yourself by your own. Yeah. Yeah, don't amass. There's never enough. It's interesting how the mind grabs. You may not have it, but that's nice. Oh, that's so nice. What has happened? Some part of you has accumulated. Some part of the system has held it. And we already know from one of the prior verses, Chintan starts to happen. Oh, that's so nice. I like it. Where did you get it? How much did it cost? I wonder if it's on sale. Oh, maybe they have yellow. What is happening? Chintan is happening. Chintan means thinking, processing. And we know what happens when there's chintan upon an object of a sense. What happens? It becomes a desire, right? Chintan create, I want it. Not it's nice, it's pretty, knowing information of cost. It goes from, I think I'll get it. Maybe next year. I think I'll tell them my birthday. They could get it for my birthday. Notice how it's slowly developing into a desire. And then if you can't get it and you see maybe somebody else has it, or maybe you have to postpone getting it, that desire becomes a craving. God, I really want that. One of these days, I just want it. I'm going to get it. I know right now my budget isn't in it, but I'm just buying it. That's a craving talking. That's no longer just a desire. It's no longer just appreciation. It's nice. And then you know what happens? From craving, fulfilled or unfulfilled, you know how it goes down the road. And then Lord Krishna had used the word, and the man is in ruin. Remember that? This is very beautiful, this verse, this how the mind works, how it starts to, oh, I also want to do that. It doesn't have to be in things. No? Oh, yeah, I also want to, teach part one courses. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying notice how even on the good things, it starts always with this chintan. And if you go to TTC, you don't become a teacher, we get heartbroken because it had become a craving or a desire that was deep versus I'll be of service. Let me see, I'll be a teacher. It's very different, no? It's nice to a craving, to being disappointed. The mind complains. The moment the mind complains, it means the ego has been bruised somewhere. It might be, oh, I wanted to complain because I was trying to be, save something or it was important, but no, there's something else that goes on. The mind is so tricky. It's little things, food. Oh, what did you order? You order food? Have you ever noticed in a restaurant, some plate of food goes by and people are like, what's that? You're already like swimming in my food, lady, get out. Did this happens, at the table? Wow, what did you just order? And then I don't want to eat it anymore because it's already been grabbed. Nazar, we call it nazar in India. The mind has already entered. It's already belonging to somebody else. Yes or no? It's very interesting. It sounds little like, come on, but it's true. There's so much elegance and etiquette and awareness of depth around food that we don't think about. Like, I know my grandmother, if you eye somebody's food, she will, oi, you would just get it suddenly. Well, what do you have? I don't have that. Ba, grandma, it's not in my plate. Shh, look at your plate. You have eaten, you have stolen, she used to say. Chori karke mat khao, Don't steal and eat. We always, at that moment, we just see ourselves as just the body. Well, I didn't actually take it. When it's convenient, then we also enter the mind did it, I didn't mean it. Mind did it. Emotions did it. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's a fascinating thing. Not eyeing other people's food and not like, oh, I want some. Take it. You got serious again on this thing. I don't get it, but okay. I think that's quite amazing. And I think the thing is, we are talking about meditation. So let's go back to that. Lord Krishna, why is he saying this? It pulls the mind outward. Meditation is what? Moving the mind inward and accumulating, whether it's internally accumulating or externally accumulating, amassing on the mind level or physical level. What happens? Either way, the mind is not going inward towards higher self, towards meditation. It's going outward. That is really what's being pointed out here. Deepen your awareness, go inward. It's very good. Even the solitude, it's an internal solitude in the mind. Look, during Karma Yoga, he also speaks about purification. Yes? Purifying the mind, intellect. How do we do it? We've talked about it ad infinitum, offering it, treating whatever you eat as prasad, so on and so forth. No, at some point then, and not keeping the eye on the fruits. So this is purifying. But meditation purifies on another level. And what that is, it's purification from mental distraction. Just pause a second. Let's not be in a hurry to move. Though my mind says, oh, I should move forward and complete. Just listen to this for a second. When we meditate, when we purify through chanting, through bhakti, through whatever, karma yoga, the mind is still on different objects. Yes? In meditation, we are bringing the mind, coagulating yoga, as it's called. That's why he refers to them as a yogi. Coagulation, solidifying the mind in a single place. In meditation, one of the qualities of purification is freedom from distraction. Splitting the mental state into fragmented mind. In Karma Yoga, the mind can remain fragmented. Dude, are you guys listening to what I'm saying? What's coming out? Like, this is a very huge thing to recognize. See, it's a necessary karma yoga. Lord Krishna gave that chapter early on. It was in chapter 2, chapter 3, and so on and so forth. But mind can remain fragmented very clearly. Even I saw a video today where somebody asked, it was a reel, somebody asked Gurudev, what is better, seva or meditation? In no unequivocal, in the moment, Guru said, no, meditation. And then he gave this example of Anusura. There's some sweet in Maharashtra. That's what he said. It was Ansura or something like that. Anyway, there's some sweet which has like flour and whatever, a jaggery, etc. And then they sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. And so he must have been in Maharashtra somewhere during
It's a
this.
Nadse.
Ah, that's it. That's it. That was it. So he says, see, that sweet is there. No, the sesame seed is just sprinkled there. The main crux is the sweet with the dough and however that it's made. And he said, seva is like the sesame seed that's sprinkled on that dough. He said, because if you give up your meditation and you just keep focusing on seva, he says, you will be like a plastic tree. You will become like a plastic tree. That is the sentence he used. No? Means you dry up. The juice of that sweet is the jaggery and the dough and however it's made. That's just a sprinkle. Do you understand? And he continues, he gave quite an elaborate answer. He said, see, and some people, they get into seva and they just keep doing seva, but they don't meditate. No, you have to meditate. Because seva, even seva, keeps the mind fragmented. It's very easy in action and in doing, whether it's seva or something else, to get into doership, to get into the fruit of the action, to get attached to it, to focus in, Very, very, very easily it's possible to do. Haven't you noticed that? Right? And one huge thing about seva and about being a karma yogi that is related to seva is don't focus, don't get attached to the fruit of what you're doing. That is not up to you. That is up to the divine force. You act, give your 100%. Don't be attached to. But notice what we do sometimes, even in our seva. We drive results. We do not drive the journey of the freedom to act. No, we don't do that. It's interesting. That's reminding me of something. There was a VTP, and one of the things that I had to make very clear to that group, that person also is, hey, don't drive your volunteers because they will burn out. They're enthusiastic for some moment, not everybody, of course, there are lots of people who stay engaged, but there are, and this was a group that yet hadn't become very strong. So we're talking in the relation to knowledge, okay? Don't take it out of context and then go write a letter saying, oh, Rajshree Didi did this and she told us don't do seva. It's not what I'm saying to you. Learn to listen without the ego in it. No? What I'm saying is meditation purifies in a different way from karma yoga or bhakti yoga. Because in action, in karma yoga, we remain in activity, we act, and it's very easily possible the mind is fragmented. Yes? But in karma yoga, even when it's doing so many things, this has nothing to do with me. These results don't touch me. Whatever happens, happens. This is for him and in service to those people. Whether they come, don't come, whether they get an experience. Some people get so invested in Kriya and transferring an experience. They had such a good course. Oh, this one didn't have such a good course. What makes it good or bad? Oh, they had a lot of release. And in this one, they didn't have a lot of release. You're locked into the results. Clear? It's a very, very sort of deep thing to be aware of. So that we stay in our practice, we don't skip meditation. That answer that Gurudev gave is a huge thing. And don't give into meditation as oh yeah, hurry up. No. The most precious thing, okay, let everything else go. I'm going to meditate. No? Even with seva, doesn't he say you have to balance rest and activity? So much World Culture Film Festival is tomorrow. World Culture Festival in Bangalore is tomorrow. And still, let us now meditate. Even if it's 5 minutes, now we meditate. No? Okay, skip meditations for the next 1 week because we have to have 2.5 million people gathering. So everybody just be in seva. Have you ever heard that statement from Gurudev? Never. Never. No? Very important. Perhaps this is what today's day is to just reinvigorate our practice and commitment to meditation, more honor, more sense of like feeling blessed about meditation. Perhaps that's the direction of all these verses also. No? Supriya, you have your hand up, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, Didi, I was thinking that this applies to our meditation experience also. And that point that you mentioned was it so resonated with me. The sensation, the cooling sensation, and then the intense heat sensation. So then in the meditation, again, somewhere the mind is looking for that, when we're sitting, okay. And sometimes I feel, I guess Gurudev said it's like the intensity of, the good and the bad also increases, right? Like if you had a really good experience, then when you're not having a good experience, then the mind fights it furthermore.
But if you're looking for the experience, what are you looking for? Result.
Yeah.
We don't do the practice for the experience of the meditation. The example given when we do sahaj is we do not shower to be clean while we're in the shower, correct? So the experience in the meditation is irrelevant. We finish the meditation, done. We move on. We will naturally, knowingly or unknowingly, carry the vibrations, the stillness, the silence, the calm into some part of our activity.
So basically, just if the mind, it's just the mind who's doing it, and so just observing it and not getting caught in it.
Or just to say, okay, even this meditation, go back to Karma Yoga.
Yeah.
This is a gift from you.
Yeah.
I give it right back to you. You treat it all as prasad. Everything, if you remember Karma Yoga, it talked about, everything is prasad. It brought it up in the context of the spoon, the ghee, everything is a yajna. See, everything is an impulse of the divine. And actually, when you do have a very good meditation, let's just go in this direction, did you or does anyone do something to have a good meditation? No! Because if it was up to you, you'd do it again and again and again. But it doesn't happen. You have the same spot. You sit down, you close your eyes. Everything else being equal, someday it's like, ugh, 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 ugh. And someday it's gone. So recognize this. You must see for what it is. You did nothing to have a good meditation. What a gift. What a blessing. Oh, okay. When you do that, you will not have expectations. Otherwise, listen, it becomes chintan. You want more. It then slowly becomes a desire. And then it becomes a craving. And then I didn't have a good meditation, which starts that vicious cycle. Do you see?
Absolutely. Yes.
It's, that was a gift. What you consider not a good meditation, it was also a gift. It's also a gift. Something is emptying out that was more than that you expected. You don't realize the difficult meditation. Listen, in life also, when everything is happy-go-lucky, also good, that's not the gift. The blessing is a difficult moment that you go through, because then you will look more towards divine. Everything happy, good, wonderful, love and light. You will not look to the divine. My doership, I did it, will grow. My family, it will grow. I will grow. Ego will grow. Oh, I don't need to meditate anymore. Yeah, I don't need to do that thing anymore. Yes, it's wonderful, but I don't like the art of living people. I can just relax. Anyway, this is the conversation that will come. Happy. And then we start, oh, you should do this. Yes, of course. Like you're above and beyond the whole scope of things. Just a little jolt, you say, oh, bow down the head again. No? We do not go towards God when everything is hunky-dory. What you call a bad meditation is not a bad meditation. It's an emptying out of an intense amount of energy. The restlessness in meditation, either you can lock it in and then not sleep at night, or just allow it to unwind. Let it go. Huh? Is it clear? Yes. Okay.
Can I ask? Sorry.
1 second. Kushpinder has her hand up, then Nisha, and then whoever. Okay? Yes. Go.
We said that Bhakti Yoga or Karma Yoga, both of them, you said meditation is different from them and the mind stays fragmented in Karma Yoga. when we are in Bhakti Yoga, yeah, can. In Bhakti Yoga, like the mind usually would come to, together when you feel that intense moment of bhakti and there's nothing else in that moment. Isn't that meditation itself?
Yes, it is. But so, yes, in Bhakti Yoga, what happens? In activity, mind is most fragmented, right? But when you feel love, forget bhakti even, when you feel love, mind coagulates more. Yes or no? In bhakti, in puja, in prayerfulness, mind coagulates more. But even in love, even in bhakti, from the highest final Advaita Vedanta step, there are two. There are still two. There's the love and the lover. There is the devotee and the divine. When you transcend, there is no two. So I'm speaking from a very broad sense when I say mind gets coagulated in meditation. We're not. This is not that idea of meditate 20 minutes a day and that'll become your road to freedom. Remember, he said somewhere in constantly, right? Remember the verse said something like that. Meditate, engage. Here, void of possession should constantly engage his mind in meditation. Now, how do you constantly engage in meditation? It's not about just sitting and meditating. Again and again and again, when the mind is running off into external world, into body, into matter, into duplicity, into multiplicity, reminding, but that is also part of that one divine force. I am also part of that divine force. Not separating good meditation, bad meditation. That sutra was said beforehand. Above the pairs of opposite is a God realized soul. So seeing activities of life also as this is also prasad, this is also part of God. You are coagulating. It is active meditation. Gurudev talks about many different types of transcendence. Isn't it? Sometimes you hear something intellectually that's really like, oh wow, that's a type of transcendence. Yes or no? You're just listening, you're not meditating even. You hear something, go, oh wow. Or when the system says yes, or you go into a state of wonder, it's a quality of transcendence. You dropped into the self, out of the intellect. It's an experience of that oneness. It's a momentary one because you come back into now, what about and why and where? That's when we say, just relax, just take it in. And what happens oftentimes, the ones that when we have a wow, is what we want to write down. You just took yourself out of that centered state. You understand? That's why they will say it was an oral tradition. Because the moment you get an aha, you bring your intellect in or write it down. Instead of staying in that dipped state, dipping the chocolate in the strawberry into the chocolate, you're now just going to analyze the chocolate. Put it in and just relish. Samajaya, are you understanding what I'm saying? Yeah. Nisha, go.
I wanted to share a couple of things. The prasad portion that you have mentioned, I think it was in second chapter or somewhere you have said that. And that has really resonated with me because what it allows me to see more go into the acceptance and not fighting. Because otherwise is always like, why this, why not that? There is a concept in my mind and is constant fighting with it. And I have said this prasad sentence to multiple people and they're like, oh, it actually makes sense. And I'm like, I heard it somewhere. But it really had shifted something in me for my day-to-day life. That's one. And second thing that you mentioned today was body looks for comfort and mind look for pleasure. And that is what's happened in the meditation a lot of time with the
Yeah.
experiences, because you are going after that good experience, and there are days when the mind doesn't settle down. You have thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. And what I realize that I'm doing, I'm resisting that be experience, because I don't want that. What I want is the calm and thoughtless state of mind. And when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh, I meditated, but it was whatever. Like, did I really meditate? I don't grasp.
But see,
I
but you see, now at that moment, it's no longer prasad. It's now,
no.
it's no longer above the pairs of opposites. It's gone into aversion and craving. Chintan has increased, and that craving for a better meditation increases. Then next time when you sit, I hope it's better than this morning's meditation or yesterday's meditation or my last advanced course or my last whatever it is. Don't you notice that? Oh, today's satsang was so beautiful. Of course, don't get me wrong. In expression, words are limiting, so we may say those things, but it's not we're just saying to converse. We have it in our head, and it's occupying space. Mind seeks pleasure, body seeks comfort. And being lashed by waves of activity in the mind is being lashed by waves at the surface of the ocean. You're like all over the place. Your hair is messed up. Your neck gets pulled this way and that way. And you eat salt and sand is in your eyes. Yes or no? It's not pleasure. No, but sitting there, not only is it pleasure, but there's also the end result. The mind tastes pleasure. Get it? The end. Oh, I see good meditation. You're already tasting the result, the end of the meditation while you're in the meditation. You know? But once, like just these discussions, you know, what we're having together brings awareness. Oh, wow. And you don't judge it, but you start to become more and more clear, more and more aware, more and more present. Wow, it's amazing how this mind works. And then it unfolds into another deeper layer of detail or awareness. Don't you find that? Even with, I don't know, some of you are very regular, right? We've probably done, I don't actually know, but let's say 35, 40 sessions perhaps together. Don't you notice that your mind is aware more in daily activity in a very different way, just like Nisha, this what she was just sharing, you know, that idea. Just this notion of prasad. Conceptually and just intellectually introduce it. Doesn't matter. Words are powerful. Thoughts are very powerful. We have a lot of meaning that's unconscious associated with things. So your conscious intellect, buddhi, might say, "Wow, what is prasad? My leg hurts and this person did this to me and I lost that. What are you talking about? It's prasad." Yes, the surface intellect or mind may do that, but that message on the subtle level is much more powerful. Introduce it. Even this, oh Lord, hey Prabhu, hey Devi, hey Mata, hey whatever you connect to, hey Guru, I cannot fully embrace it, but I know this is also prasad from you. Give me the strength to take it and receive it with a smile on my face. This is a sentence that is more than just words. In saying it, don't you feel something softens inside of you? And then that moment, some grace pours in. In that moment, you have arisen above the pairs of opposites. You have dropped out of the aversion state into an accepting state. It's momentary, so you may not realize it because we're not getting a long enough gap. So we like, it doesn't work. No, it works. Every single time it works. Remembrance of the divine in life is you embracing that divinity yourself in that moment, you being in that moment, this is a profound thing. These are not words. You know, if you had a fight with somebody yesterday, I don't have to do much, just say, oh, what about your boss? That's it. Then you don't say it's just intellectual. No, it's not. Everything is triggered behind the scenes. Am I clear? Am I making sense to you? This is what I need to know, because it's very big what we're sharing together. Just, dear God, oh hey Guruvar, sun meri baat sun. I can't embrace it now, but I accept this as your will. It's for my greater good you drive me in this direction. Okay. Rishma, I think you had a question. Maybe she had to go.
No, I'm here. You addressed what I was going to say. So as just I've been thinking about this for the past few days, that a lot of times in our meditation is at the superficial, our mind is at a superficial level, right? It's not going deeper, like it's at the unconscious, subconscious level, as we say, right? But like we accept that as the will of the God, right? Take it as a prasad.
Well, let me help you more logically. How about this? Let me give you a practice. By the way, we are past our time, so of course, as always, those who need to go, please do drop. I will just stay back to answer the rest of the questions. But let me give you a pragmatic reason of what else is happening. When you sit there to meditate and all you have is thought after thought after thought, correct? What did I say happens? In meditation, there's another layer of purification happening. One way I expressed it was distraction of the mind. You're allowing to just think about this. If you just stay committed, I'm meditating and the thing is just filled with thoughts, I'm not even really meditating. And in that state, you say, okay, so what? You are moving the mind away from avoiding, running, into staying with it. It is towards acceptance. What is meditation? Accepting the moment as it is right now. That is actually non-avoidance, not running away, and not distracting yourself for what is uncomfortable, not pleasurable. Did you guys just get what I said? Did you hear what just came out of the mouth? Yes or no? There is a pragmatic purification that is happening. You just haven't realized it because the mind is so focused on the result of less thought or no thought. But bearing through a moment where it's bombarded with waves is resilience, is building of life force, prana. Is a moment of saying, I accept this as it is. It's building stamina. It's building strength. It's building, I know I'm bigger than anything in my mind. It's learning to not get attentive to the mind stuff. That is what's happening. That is the gift that you're being given in meditation. So don't just woo, it's prasad. Dude, it is. What an amazing gift. Enter your meditations like this. You will see that meditation will feel deep and rich. And so many things affected. What you eat, your health, the company, what's happening in the world, our own tendencies. I don't know, 1,000 things. This you already know. This is not something new that we're hearing. But whatever the reason that's affecting that meditation to be that way, I stay. The whole journey of meditation is so that we don't go on endlessly giving value to our thoughts. So we stop. The idea comes, yes, okay, just wait. Whatever the guru says, let's just go with that. No, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying anything like that. There's room, there's a place where sometimes you have to interject, sometimes you don't, but it's just a habit right now. We continuously give our input for everything in life to our wife, to our son, to our daughters, to our, everybody. Be quiet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no, nobody wants it. If they ask, say it nicely, politely, don't just say, hey, don't put your foot on Guruji's asana. God bless me. Okay, last question. Rekha, go.
So, Didi, you just spoke about not taking notes, like, when Gurudev is saying something. So, I remember I did silence course with you recently, and you mentioned not to take notes. And my habit is to take the notes all the time. That's why, like, you remember things, I think. So, for 3 days, I did not write anything. But last day, I ended up writing it. But today, what you said is uh, strawberry dipped in chocolate. Then you don't taste it. Uh,
See, the thing is, we're not trying to remember things. Remember, buddhi, intellect, memory, chitta, needs to be purified. If you keep stuffing things in memory that don't require it to be utilized as a task, you just need to go back and meditate more. These things are meant for, oh, I get it. Okay, I will practice that. Nididhyasa has to happen. Not memorize it and repeat it. The other thing is, what's lively for you, what you need to remember, will stick to you.
okay.
You don't try to remember everything in the whole session. What lives for you? No, we discussed so many things, but don't you notice certain things were striking you in a different way? Some things were just going, oh, yes. And some things was like, whoa, yes or no? Even
Yes.
as I'm sharing, I even hear it for myself and I go, whoa. And you see me saying it to you, wow, that's beautiful. I hadn't quite thought of it that way. Even to me. And that is what you should hold. And when it's over, you can just make a note that says, it's all prasad. That's it. That's enough. Versus, because we try to make copious notes. What does the intellect do when it's writing? It doesn't take a central point and just put it and circle the word. It makes copious notes. That's why we don't do that. It tries to write it the way it heard it. This is you're gonna have to sit for another 4-day course. Well, another advanced course. Well, bully, great for us. This
So just listen. Just listen to the knowledge, whatever.
receive, receive, and then say, oh my God. Even as we're sharing, doesn't your mind naturally do self-referral? Don't you do it? Like I give some example and go, yeah, I did. Oh yeah. If I give an example of the cell phone or food, I don't know what, then doesn't your mind also bring back other examples? Like, yeah, I do that. Then
I'll
the
remember
thing,
this.
one
Sorry.
last thing, the thing then that's supposed to do is when it's over, what does the guru say? Discuss amongst yourselves. But that's not what we do. When it's over, where's the brownie? No? How are you? Oh, where are you going? What housing are you staying in? Oh my God. Oh my God. Where are you sitting? How is so and so? What happened to that? Where does that come from? It's all in the memory. No, instead of what we just heard, like, oh, what did you think about that? I'm telling you, the biggest gap I find for me in my life is I don't know who to go bounce my ideas off of sometimes. Yeah, like this morning, honestly, I had to call somebody. I actually called Philip, he was busy. So I called somebody to say, there's some chintan, manana about some piece of knowledge that's happening that I can't quite clarify. How does this work? But I didn't know where to go with it. So then you sit, okay, just sit. I did a little bit of chanting, and then I, pray, okay, you give me an answer, because this is going on in my awareness for 3 days. How do I navigate this? And then I press Shri Shri, the video, and the first reel that came up gave me the answer. Okay. You will get your answers. The divine is at work all the time, continuously, in every tiny moment. You have to connect to it and ask for.
Yeah.
You see? Okay, I'll
Makes
give the 2 comments and then we end here. Ignore.
But I'll remember the strawberry exam dipped in chocolate and just looking but not enjoying. So thank you for that.
Yes, okay, good. That strawberry one is good. Let AI take the notes. I love that. Receive versus listen to the knowledge. This is good. You must receive the knowledge, When you're really listening with that sort of rapt intellect, it's different from like, and letting some self-referral come and bringing awareness to you. Wow, Raj, you do that. Wow, that goes on. Being okay with that, because otherwise we discover something about ourselves and we go, wow, I can't believe I've been doing that. 35 years later, I'm still, planning out my laundry when I meditate. That's not the point. It's a journey. Didi, why are we not supposed to step on Guruji's asan? To my mind, it's a piece of cloth that's under his feet to keep his feet from getting cold. Why do you bow down to his feet? You consider something sacred, and that thing is his asan. What if you have your shawl? It's a piece of cloth, and somebody comes and puts your foot on it. Do you not say, hey, that's my shawl, don't put your foot on it? Do you say that or not? No? Yes. It's just the same, Buddha's statue is sacred. Where the Guru sits, his asan, his seat, it's a seat of knowledge. And that is a Guru, that is not just a cloth. Why people want his dhoti? It's just a cloth. But imagine, Guru Purnima day, there's a dhoti, and he takes it off and says, here. Will you say, it's just a cloth? Guruji gave me his dhoti. No? It's important. It's a good question, Thank you, beautiful session. Okay, are we good? It's quite late. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you, Didi. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. God bless. See you Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
Jai Gurudev Didi.
Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you, Didi.
Jai Gurudev Didi.
Jai Gurudev. Rest well.